Welcome to the So You Miss Church podcast. We are happy to have you here with us today. Happy Monday to you. This is Clint Daly, and I am hoping that if you went to church this week, you got something from it. It was beneficial to you. But if you missed church this week, or maybe you didn't go, or maybe you didn't want to go, or maybe you didn't even really miss it that much, that we can still help you get your week started in a positive way. And today on the podcast, we are going to discuss a subject that might be a little bit difficult. Because today, we are going to be discussing the subject of humility. Hey, it isn't a subject that many of us like to think about, is it? When we talk about being humble, it can step on some toes, right? Because at our core, human beings are selfish creatures, and we do look out for ourselves first and foremost. So we all do have some sort of pride or some sort of narcissism to us. In fact, I was going to open this podcast today with a joke about humility, but I decided not to. But trust me, if I had, it probably would have been the greatest joke that anyone has ever heard. So today, we go to the Apostle Paul's book to the Romans, and in chapter 12, here's what Paul has to say. For by the grace given me, I say to every one of you, do not think of yourself more highly than you ought, but rather think of yourself with sober judgment, in accordance with the faith God has distributed to each of you. Okay, so understand this. Humility might be one of the most essential traits in the Christian life. But in our world today, there's no question, we have a severe shortage of it. And I always say it, you've probably heard me say it here on the podcast, all roads in life lead to narcissism. And if you would like proof of that, I'm going to provide it right now. But I want to pre-warn everyone, it may step on some toes. I know for sure that as I read these, I will be stepping on my own toes. Okay, here are 6 quick questions that you can ask yourself to gauge your own humility. Number 1, are you willing to ask others for help? Because a humble person doesn't insist on everything being done their way, and they're not afraid to ask for assistance. Okay, well, that one hurt my feelings right off the bat. Number 2, are you willing to forgive others when they make mistakes? Because a humble person is difficult to offend and content to wait for God to vindicate them when or if they have been wronged. They don't try to seek out their own personal revenge. Again, that kind of stings too. Number 3, are you patient with others when they struggle, especially when they make mistakes? Or do you get frustrated with those weaknesses? Going to go ahead and plead the 5th on that one too. Number 4, do you bring harmony to relationships? Are you a peacemaker? Or do you tend to be involved in disagreements kind of just wherever you go? Because a humble person puts aside petty disagreements and doesn't always have to be right. Again, it's not that I have to be right, I just usually am. Number 5, do you have to be center stage? Or are you comfortable with others being the center of attention? A humble person doesn't have to speak their mind in every situation. But I mean, how is everyone going to know they're wrong unless I explain it to them? And finally, number 6, the last one, can you admit when you make mistakes and apologize for them? Because a humble person admits their weaknesses, asks forgiveness, and looks to improve on those weaknesses. Well, like I said, those 6 questions might step on some toes, or in my case, they might have steamrolled my entire foot. But do you know why these questions are so difficult for us? Because humility begins with us recognizing that we are not nearly as self-reliant as we would like to be. You see, we depend on God's grace every single day for every single thing. We are dependent upon God that we even get another day on this planet. Now, maybe you heard those 6 questions and you aced every one of them. And if so, I kind of want to hang out with you because you must be the kindest, most compassionate person on the planet. Or maybe like me, you heard those questions and thought, yeah, I've got some room for improvement. But let me offer you some encouragement today. Like I said, as humans, we are naturally selfish. We care about our own survival first and foremost. It is absolutely in our nature to be that way. So how in the world can we possibly break that pattern of thinking of ourselves first and being humble? First, we must be aware of that pattern, because we are literally trying to do something that goes against our human nature. It goes against our human survival. We are naturally selfish. We have to be aware, hey, you're selfish. I'm going to try to not be selfish. Second, and far more importantly, we must incorporate breaking that selfish pattern every day in our prayer life. When we ask God for help on this matter, He can absolutely change our hearts and guide us to do what is right, instead of what our silly reptilian brain may be telling us to do. Hey, it might sound obvious, but we're not going to improve our humility on our own. We will need divine intervention to improve our humility, because we're not capable of doing that. Not as humans. This week, I encourage you, open your heart and open your mind to improving your humility. Ask God every single day to help you improve your humility. And let's see if we can go on this journey toward improving our humility together. Hey, remember, you can always contact the podcast at youmisschurch@gmail.com. Feel free to reach out to us. We would love to hear from you. You can also follow us on Facebook or X at YouMissChurch, and you can subscribe to the podcast pretty much anywhere podcasts are hosted. Just go to a podcast hosting company, type in You Miss Church, you're going to find us. And remember, if nothing else, you could always find us over on YouTube. Hey, I wish you all a very happy Monday, and I hope that you have a great week.